I'm Erica McMillian, and this is my Tournament of Ideas proposal titled Shopping Smart for Type 2 Diabetics. Type 2 diabetes comprises an array of dysfunctions resulting from the combination of resistance to insulin action and inadequate insulin secretion. Presumably, type 2 diabetes develops when a diabetogenic lifestyle, including excessive calorie intake, inadequate caloric expenditure, and obesity, is superimposed on a susceptible genotype. A 2011 Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report estimates that nearly 26 million Americans have diabetes. Additionally, an estimated 79 million Americans have prediabetes. Diabetes affects 8.3% of Americans of all ages and 11.3% of adults aged 20 years and older, according to the National Diabetes Fact Sheet for 2011. About 27% of those with diabetes, 7 million Americans, do not know they have the disease. Prediabetes affects 35% of adults aged 20 years and older. The significant morbidity and mortality of type 2 diabetes is associated with significant cost. In 1994, 1 of every 7 healthcare dollars in the U.S. was spent on patients with diabetes. The 2002 estimate for direct medical costs due to diabetes in the U.S. was $92 billion, with another $40 billion in indirect costs. Approximately 20% of Medicare funds are spent on these patients. Diet is the most important behavioral aspect of diabetes treatment. Basic principles of nutritional management, however, are often poorly understood by both clinicians and their patients. Patients commonly fail to adhere to recommendations for diet and exercise, a source of ongoing frustrations for clinicians in caring for their patients with diabetes. Dietary compliance is a major factor in achieving glycemic control. Weight reduction can improve or even reverse glucose intolerance in patients with this disease. Patients often received written materials or dietary counseling from clinicians upon diagnosis or later office visits. Some patients who have adequate financial resources may utilize the internet or published books and magazines to further guide their decision-making. However, the above-mentioned evidence suggests that other strategies are needed to encourage healthy dietary choices. I propose a system for diabetes education to take place inside grocery stores, where a large portion of patients' dietary planning and decision-making is executed, and where options can be overwhelming and confusing. Information and guidance would be offered via several modalities, including posted signs, pamphlets, and barcode scanners. Signage would be posted near entryways to advertise the program, with generalized reminders of healthy options for diabetics. Pamphlets would be available to provide more details of sample meal plans, good snack foods, and carb exchanges for common foods. This information would also be communicated over handheld scanners. Consumers would have the option to choose a diabetic shopper option, which would cause the scanner to advertise appropriate foods as the shopper walked by them in the aisles. People who choose to utilize this option and who actually purchase items suggested by the software will receive discounts on those items. Grocery stores would be incentivized to participate in this program because it would be linked to liquor and tobacco licensing. That is, any grocery store that wishes to maintain the ability to sell tobacco or liquor products would be required to provide the services described above. Beer and cigarettes are the products that usually provide the highest profit margin for grocery stores, and therefore stores would be reluctant to forfeit their license to sell them. With an aging population and an ever-growing trend of obesity threatening to impose an even greater burden of type 2 diabetes, Shopping Smart has the potential to benefit clients at a crucial point in their self-care routines.